Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's just two movies.
Welcome, Black, Asian, and any other denomination of people that are listening to our show regularly. We appreciate you. This is It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. With me, as always, my good friend, Birdman.
I mean,
he's not
always. But
we probably still the majority of the time, but we missed you for a while, man. How you been, brother?
Been good. About the same as I always am. Doing the same things.
Hollow bones and migrating and all that good stuff.
Chirping and eating various worms.
Getting a bit of worm. The proverbial worm.
No, I've been good, man. It's nice to be back.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, has it been 3 weeks? Has it been a month?
Well, I was trying to figure that out last night, so I took a look at the catalog, and it looked like you were in one of the last 5 episodes, but we also took a week off.
Right.
So you've done one in 6 weeks, which is, normally we do a little more than that, so, we missed you in here. I'm super excited to do this episode. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah.
So, also, I had 2 whiskeys and a modern
Mosa.
Modern Mosa. I had a modern Mosa before we got started. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We got a good buzz on. We're
feeling good.
We're chit chatting. We're feeling good. We're having a great time. So, if you're not familiar with how this show works or what it is that we do here, what we do here is grasp at straws for an hour, and then we let you go on with the rest of your day. But first, we're going to talk about 2 movies. We talk about a good movie that one of us chooses. Typically, it'll be a movie that one of us has seen before. And then we find something, some sort of common thread with another movie that is, traditionally speaking, not well reviewed.
It's a piece of shit.
Yes. And then we'll go have some drinks. We watch the bad movie, and then we come back in here and we talk about it for X amount of time.
Because we're on summer break, isn't as long as our normal episodes.
If you're just tuning in and this is your first episode, if you go back and look at our back catalog, most of the episodes are like 2 hours long. This hour-long format is a summer break thing until it's the middle of winter and we've got nothing else to fucking do.
Yeah, it's summer, baby.
Yeah, summertime.
All right, so you picked the movie this week.
I did.
What'd you go with?
I went with Robot and Frank. If you're not familiar with Robot and Frank, you certainly wouldn't be alone. It is a PG-13, 2012 sci-fi comedy with an hour 29 runtime. Got a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 86 Rotten Tomatoes. You have the Metacritic review for this by chance?
Looks like Metascore is a 67 from 33 critics.
67 on Meta. Release date August 17th, 2012. Directed by Jake Schreier. Jake Schreier? Yeah, I guess so. What does everybody in Hollywood have such fucking difficult names to pronounce?
That is a weird one.
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? It's not that fucking hard, people. Just change your fucking names. Maybe I'll say them right on my podcast then. Story by, looks like the main credited writers here are Jackie Kelman-Bisbee and Galt.
What?
Galt Niederhofer?
Where are you seeing this?
It's just who wrote the story. So not necessarily like screenplay credits or whatever, but this is the story.
Oh, okay. Because I have writer Christopher Ford.
Oh, okay. Perfect. As long as we're covering our bases, I don't give a shit. So this had a budget of $2.5 million, and it only pulled 4.9 in the box office. So it is a profitable film, but I feel like this is an outstanding film. And I have never talked to another person who's actually seen this movie.
That tracks, because when you told me this was the movie that you wanted to watch, I never heard of it, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because it's a really fucking good movie.
Right. Now, I know normally we are doing this at the end of the podcast now, but just to mix up the format, What would you give this in robot thumbs?
Oh, shit. We got robot thumbs?
I'm just going to go ahead and bring it right to the table.
I would give it 9 robot thumbs.
Yeah, I would second that motion with 9 robot thumbs.
Not that there's really anything wrong with it.
No.
Because I don't think there is. I mean, there might be like, as far as a casting choice,
if it was
felt
slightly less sad, I might go 9, 5, or 10.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a bummer, and we'll get into that.
What for anyone who hasn't seen this, spoiler free, what would you say this movie is about?
Yeah, so this movie is about an older gentleman that is having a little bit of trouble taking care of himself, so his son buys him a fucking robot.
Yeah.
And
this is the like not super far flung future.
Yeah, it's the near future.
But yeah, exactly. Like 10 years.
So his son lives several hours away, and he buys this robot for his dad, to help his dad take care of himself. He's getting older, his health is not great.
He's sundowning, I think is what they call it. Like he's having the onset symptoms of dementia.
Yes, which I didn't realize that at first. I guess that's because it's not clear right off the bat.
Right.
But at the same time, I wanted to ask you this. In the beginning, is he breaking into his own house? Because you didn't get that?
I am not entirely sure. I think
because he's breaking into a house, or that's supposed to be the feeling that you get.
Yeah.
And then he sees a picture, and he's like, oh shit. He recognizes whoever in that picture.
Yeah.
I think it's his son or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next day he wakes up and he's cleaning up his house, and there's like broken glass. And
so I think what's happening in that scene is he found himself walking up to a door and thought, I must be here to rob this place. So he breaks in, but it's his own house.
It's his own house.
Because he forgot he was just going home.
Yeah.
So he's having these early onset dementia symptoms, which, man, old girl dementia, whenever you come for me, you better treat me good. You know what I'm saying? Meet lots of new, exciting people, not being scared of my surroundings all the time. That would be great.
Yeah. That would be great.
No, dementia sounds like a real motherfucker.
Yeah, it's... Oof.
Yeah, definitely difficult to deal with. So you've got Frank. He's got early onset dementia. Like you said, his son buys him a robot to kind of help him out. Yeah. The robot's prime directive, main goal, programming parameters or whatever, is to care for Frank's health.
Yes.
So it wants to help him with his cognitive ability. It wants to help him, lower his blood pressure. It wants to see him eat right. It wants to see him stay active. It wants to keep him on a regular schedule.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the cast before we really get too far into this. Frank is played by Frank Langella, who we've covered previously on the show, although I don't recall what movie.
Same.
Susan Sarandon, I got to tell you, man, even for 2012, she looks amazing.
Gee, I was going to say, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I went back and I was like, how old was she in 2012?
How old was she?
She was around 64 or 65.
She looks fucking great.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, she really does. You've got Liv Tyler. If there aren't enough sexy people in this for you, James Marsden is also in this.
Oh, dude.
He's
a good-looking guy.
Peter Sarsgaard plays the voice of the robot.
Yep.
Who I initially thought was someone else, but no, it's Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
Who's great in a lot of things. Jeremy Strong is also in it, and Jeremy Sisto from The Crew.
Oh, shit.
That's who I was like, man, I've never seen him in anything else. What's that guy's name? That's Jeremy Sisto from The Crew. The only redeeming quality of the movie The Crew is Jeremy Sisto's weirdest role of his entire career.
He's the sheriff in this.
He's the sheriff in this. Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. So Frank, played by Frank Langella, his love interest, Susan Sarandon, his daughter, Liv Tyler, his son, James Marsden, the robot, Peter Sarsgaard, and then Jeremy Sisto's the sheriff, and Jeremy Strong plays like this
rich asshole.
Kind of, rich asshole. I guess that's the greatest you could you could put it.
Yeah, so you covered a little bit on the beginning as far as early onset dementia.
Yeah.
Frank gets a robot,
Somebody get me a fucking robot.
Dude, seriously.
Somebody be like, hey, you too fat. I got your robot.
You need this thing to take care of you a little bit.
It's gonna make your dinner and be like, hey, no, exercise. Do it now.
Yeah. So Frank initially does not want the robot.
He seems like a miserable old cunt.
A little bit.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. He seems like the kind of person where people are like, respect your elders. And I'm like, yeah, but not all of them. Because he just seems like an old sad sack piece of shit. Like, you know, fucking everybody lives and gets old. You're not doing anything that is special to you.
Right.
It's just part of life, man. You don't have to be such an ass about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He seems very bitter and not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Frank's a little bit of a reader. And he frequents the town library, which is being renovated, I guess, or like...
As I understood it, another gentleman purchased it, played by Jeremy Strong, a guy named Jake.
The rich asshole.
He purchased the library and is like selling everything in it and getting it for like an online experience. Because people can get books where and whenever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody has to go to a library, like nobody on the planet. So why have libraries?
Yeah.
But if you can scan this library and have people like, you know, plug into their VR or whatever and have the experience of going to a library and reading a book, that could be profitable, certainly more profitable than a library. Because libraries are like public service. I can't imagine a library making more than like $2,000 a year. How much is a library card? $8. You know what I mean? Like they're not making money hand over fist with late fees, maybe. But you know, well, what are they going to do if you never return it or just go, no, thank you, I won't be paying that? Are they going to fucking hunt you down? You know what I mean?
They might.
I don't know. Any librarians out there, write us at just2movies@gmail.com. If you ever killed a man over a late fee, I'd like to know if you fucking hunt people down. I'm asking for a friend, not like I have any overdue books.
Oh shit! So at the library, Frank makes the robot stay outside. He's like,
yeah, he's a little ashamed of it.
Right, because it's taking care of him.
Yeah, and he knows that.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need this fucking robot to take it. I can wipe my own ass and whatever.
Right.
But it would be really sweet to have a robot pick up your fucking house and cook your meals. And also make a garden.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a fucking excellent robot.
What a badass.
Yeah, it is a badass robot. And although it's probably just a very small person in a very plain suit, I'm immediately on board with the fact that it's a robot. From the moment James Marsden takes it out of the trunk of his car, and I'm like, oh, so this robot weighs like 15 pounds. It weighs nothing. And sets it on the ground. It's clearly just a little person in a suit of blocks or whatever.
So going as far as the voice, why do you think the robot, this is just something I thought about, why do you think the robot doesn't have just a normal speaking voice?
How do you mean?
Like, why wasn't that, what was his name? Peter Sarsgaard?
Yeah, I think so.
That plays the robot, or that voices the robot?
Yeah, Peter Sarsgaard.
Right. Why wasn't it just, why does a robot voice have to be like this? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah,
you think that's just going with?
I don't know. I am not sure, because at a certain point, the robot, its speech is so well articulated that it can have pauses and like word stops that don't sound unusual after a minute or two. Like they don't sound super robotic.
No, yeah, I understand that.
But they still kind of do, and I guess that's to put you in the mind frame of this is still a robot. Because Frank and the robot, Frank forms like an emotional connection with this robot almost immediately.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that he hates it. And then one day he decides that it might be okay. And then he decides that it's his friend.
Right.
So he always has an emotional connection to it. So that might be to keep the viewer in the field of, okay, it's a robot though. It's not a person.
Right.
It's not something you can have. It's like having a relationship with your toaster.
Yeah. So they're at the library. The robot is outside, and some kids come up and start fucking with the robot.
Yeah. Do not molest me.
It says, "Do not molest me," which fucking killed me. And it says it a couple times throughout the film. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I just by definition.
In the library, Susan Sarandon, she's the librarian.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls out a book it's a very old book. It's Don Quixote, which I actually have, I haven't read it yet.
Have you, Don Quixote was my aunt, who actually was a librarian.
She was Don Quixote?
That is her second favorite book. Her favorite book was Life of Pi. Her second favorite book was Don Quixote.
Do you know when that book was written?
Long motherfucking time ago. I assume you have it in front of you there?
1605.
Yeah, that's a long old ass motherfucking book.
So she shows him these because it's in a lockbox, right? And these are rare books, very rare special edition books.
Yeah, this copy of Don Quixote, by the way, if you haven't seen this movie, which I'm assuming you haven't because fucking nobody has, this is like some Indiana Jones style shit. Like this is an old motherfucking copy of Don Quixote.
Yeah. So yeah, after the library scene, they're back at home, and I think this is when Frank realizes that the robot is not programmed to really distinguish law.
Right and wrong necessarily.
Yeah.
It has this really like ambiguous moral code or lack thereof, I guess. It essentially doesn't care. If you could talk this robot into stealing something from a department store, it would do it. It would do it, especially if you were like, okay, I'll have a low sodium diet for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It cares about Frank's health. Yeah. That is all it fucking cares about. It doesn't care.
It understands law.
Right.
But it doesn't really care about it.
Exactly. Yeah. She's like, you stole that. Do you understand? And it's like, yes, I understand what stealing is. He's like, how do you feel about that? I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, will you help me steal more shit? And he's like, I don't know. You fucking help me with the garden? Because you're an old man, you need exercise.
So Frank teaches through this. He's like, okay, he hatches a plan. He teaches the robot to pick locks.
Oh, yeah. And it's fucking awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
I think this might have been why I got my daughter a lock-picking kit.
Oh, from this movie?
Yeah, I think maybe this is where I got the idea to do it.
It's a cool gift. I think it's
a cool hobby, too.
For sure.
Like picking padlocks is fun as shit.
Yeah.
It is like solving little mini puzzles.
Right, yeah.
But
awesome.
They let you into things, though, which is cool. Yeah, no, 1 year for Christmas for my daughter, I got her a little tiny remote controlled drone, but I built a small wooden box and put a padlock on it. And another gift she got was the lock picking kit with a lock that was clear. It was like an epoxy poured lock. So you could actually look into it while you're picking the lock. So it would like train you how to do it. And then once she figured out how to pick that lock, she could pick the other lock and get the other present. And I still have that lockpicking kit. I've actually used it on a number of occasions, not to break and enter anything,
right?
But for like a padlock that I have that I've misplaced the key for, or I had to use it for a thing at work one time. I was like, oh, let me run home and grab my kit.
What a hashtag cool dad!
Fucking hashtag cool dad. Assassin's Creed, you know.
Just 420.
That's right.
Blowing
just
clouds.
Hashtag 6ix9ine. But just
ripping clouds.
Just ripping clouds.
Ripping the fattest, hottest.
Ripping clouds and farting louds.
All right, let's get back on track.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. So, and they're heist buddies.
They're fucking heist buddies.
That's it. The robot's like, listen, you do the shit that I say that'll help you take care of yourself, and I'll help you fucking steal shit or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't know if we covered this in our explanation, but Frank used to be basically what would you call him? Like Frank a cat burglar?
Frank was a cat burglar. Yep.
In his younger days, and he got away with some good shit.
Most valuable by the ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would steal whatever he could get that was worth the most money by the ounce.
Yep. So
sounds like he did a couple of stints in prison.
Yeah, he did a 10-year and a 6-year, I think.
Yeah, and there's some like disagreement with his son over that. Like his dad's like, you're a shitty father. The best thing you ever did was be in prison so you didn't have to raise me.
Yeah.
But then later in the movie, he's like, he forgets who he is, and he's like, oh, how's Princeton? And he's like, Princeton's good, which got me thinking. I'm like, man, if you say your dad was a shitty dad, at least he paid for you to fucking go to Princeton because your mom was a librarian.
Maybe he didn't, though. Maybe he didn't pay for her.
Maybe he didn't, but I mean, he's a jewel thief.
Well, that's true.
It's
true.
He got away with it more times than he got busted for it. That's certainly true.
So, yeah, they're partners. The robot and Frank are partners now. Frank taught him how to pick locks. They devise a plan to steal a valuable book from the library.
Don Quixote.
They end up taking Don Quixote.
Yeah, Don Quixote.
But Frank accidentally leaves his glasses at the library.
He does. By the way, the Don Quixote, have you read Don Quixote?
No, I have it. It's on my shelf. It's just long.
Okay, so Don Quixote is a crazy man. Like, he's an old man with Alzheimer's who thinks he's this great Spanish conquistador.
Right.
And he's not. He's just a crazy old man. He, like, fights a windmill, and he thinks it's a giant. So he's insane. And I think that part of this story is the fact that Frank goes to steal Don Quixote. You could not have picked a better book. Because it is about an old man who doesn't understand reality, and that's kind of Frank's character also. So that's a cool metaphor tie-in.
That is cool. Yeah, I'm excited to read the book. I hear it is one of the funniest books ever written.
My mom hates it.
Huh.
She's a big reader.
That's weird.
My aunt, it was one of her favorite books while she was still alive, but my mom's like, oh, God. She's like, I know it's your, they have that in common. They both like to read.
Yeah.
She's like, I know it's like one of your aunt's favorite books, but she just doesn't like it.
Hey,
so
some people love it. Some people hate it.
6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
Right. So
it's a real John dies at the end.
Yeah. So, they fucking steal this book. Frank and
Robot?
Susan Sarandon, which I don't remember her name in the
it doesn't
film.
matter. Everybody knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. They agreed to go to this party together. Mm-hmm. What was the party for?
So the party is for the launch of the library getting rebuilt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of rich assholes here. This is when we meet
Jake.
Yeah. Fucking Jake.
He's just a fucking snarky cocksucker.
Oh no, we did meet him earlier, but
he says something to Frank. He's like, "Oh, you're." He says something to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're." He's like, "If you were any more square, you'd be trendy." And Frank's like, "Fuck, did you just say to me?" And he's like, "Oh, Frank, you're crazy," but he's not. It's because all these people kind of quietly already know about Frank.
Yeah,
he's clearly lived in this town for a long time.
They've looked him up.
They all know that he went to prison and that he was a world renowned cat burglar.
Yeah.
And there's one point in the movie where he's like, where should we hit next? And he drops the name of like a famous German bank or something. So he's robbed places around the world, potentially.
So at this party, his plan was to give Susan Sarandon the copy of Don Quixote.
Oh, yeah.
But through a conversation, he realizes that's a bad idea.
Kind of chickens out.
Yeah. So in this scene, there's a hilarious robot interaction.
Oh yeah, because Susan Sarandon has like a helper robot at the library.
Yes,
but you can tell it's an older model because it's just like a square box.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? And they're like, we don't need to. And they're like, don't be rude. Pretend that Mr. Darcy or whatever is also a human being. And then, robot turns to me. He's like, how are you doing? And
all of my primary functions are or whatever.
I am functioning normally.
Yeah.
And he's like, me too. And then they both look back at the humans. Like, all right, whatever. Yeah.
They're fucking robots.
It's a perfect amount of levity, though, because it would be a brief interaction like that. Yeah. It would be like, you want me to pretend? Okay. All right. Okay. And we're done.
We're done here.
What
that
now?
Took 15 seconds.
What's your next command?
So after a couple interactions with Jake, Frank wants to. He sees some diamonds.
He sees the kid's he's like a tech billionaire or whatever, and he sees his lady
wife's
has some huge fucking like super gaudy jewels.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, we're gonna hit these fucking hipsters.
Yep.
And there's a bit where they're like casing out the joint. They're like sitting in the woods. They got binoculars. It's Frank and Robot, and Frank's sitting there talking to Robot about whatever. They have this conversation about existentialism. How the robot's like, he's like, how come you said, you didn't want your memory wiped earlier about a thing? And the robot's like, I was manipulating you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't actually care if my memory gets wiped. And Frank's like, why would you not care if your memory gets wiped? And he's like, well, the same way that you know that you are alive and you think therefore you are, I know that I am not alive. so I don't care.
Plus, his primary function, as we said earlier, is to take care of Frank.
Frank's health.
So he lied in order to
get Frank to to be
it,
healthy.
Right.
It's awesome. And it makes Frank very uncomfortable. This chat about
existentialism?
Not cognition, not existentialism. Self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation about self-awareness makes him very uncomfortable, which I think is adds a perfect layer to him just being like kind of an old school guy. Like he is a one-track mind, tunnel vision type of guy. Like you couldn't sit around with Frank and have talks about the real, like, why are we here? What is our purpose?
Yeah, that's not in his...
He doesn't care about that shit.
Right.
He not only doesn't care about it, kind of freaks him out, doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
So that just kind of helps you pigeonhole his character a little bit, and I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, it adds depth to his character.
It really does.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about this time we meet Frank's daughter. They've talked a little bit through voice chat, or actually video chat.
Yeah.
And she's whatever. She's a traveler. She's in other countries.
Yeah.
But she shows up to Frank's.
She does.
She's anti-robot. And she wants to start quote unquote taking care of her dad.
She seems like she's anti lots of shit.
Yeah.
But
played by Liv Tyler, by the way.
Circa 99.
Yeah.
She was all that and a bag of chips.
Oh, a bag of chips?
Ooh.
Are they spicy?
Yeah, sure. We'll just say they're St. Louis Red Hot Riplets.
Oh.
St. Louis's own Red Hot Riplets. John Goodman. You get a free John Goodman in every bag.
So Robot and Frank, they case out the rich asshole's house several times?
Several times. Liv Tyler comes back and she's like, "Hi, I'm here to stay with you. I love you, Dad. Let's turn this robot off." She turns the robot off, and Frank Langanella is like, "Fucking this bitch.
Why would you do this to me?
Why would you turn off my fucking robot? I'm a miserable old cunt for 10 years, and I finally have something worth living for." Because you see Frank's personality turn around. All of a sudden, he's back to doing what he loves, which is fucking over people.
Rich assholes.
Pretty much,
basically.
yeah. He's back to fucking over rich assholes, and that's his thing that makes him feel young and alive and excited, and that's his purpose.
And the robot's in because
it wants him to have something to cognitively
it wants him to have a direction.
Focus on. Yeah, have some direction, have a schedule.
Yep.
So Robot's all in on it, and Liv Tyler, she's anti-robot. A couple of days go by and everything's fine, and then Frank's like, you know what? I got to make her realize how helpful this robot is. So he just goes in the kitchen, starts fucking throwing pasta in the floor. He's like fucking breaking plates and throwing glasses everywhere. And then he goes to bed. And the next day, everything's clean.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Ooh, I just pulled an all-nighter." And he's like, "No, you didn't. You used the robot. Don't fucking lie to me."
Because she knows the robot's password, and Frank does not.
Right.
Unfortunately, because obviously he would just turn it back on immediately. Yeah, she pretends that she cleaned the whole fucking house.
Oh, yeah. And so he calls her bluff, and he starts throwing dried pasta on her, just ripping bags of pasta open.
By the way, that pasta that she cooked looked terrible.
Oh, my God. He's like, "I want lasagna." And she cooks penne pasta with maybe a tablespoon of red sauce on top of it. And he's like, "This lasagna looks like shit." Well, for starters, it doesn't look like lasagna.
That wasn't lasagna.
And it also does look super fucking bland.
Yeah, it did.
I just don't think she knows how to cook.
No, she's not, she's not a cook. She's not great at taking care of the house.
So yeah, she changes her position on robots pretty fucking quick.
Yes.
She's like, "Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe
we'll turn it on for a little bit."
Yeah, and then he's like, he helps me, and she's like, "I can help you," and he's like, "Yeah, but he's my friend."
Right.
Because he doesn't need a friend. He's a lonely old fucking man who's kind of a miserable cunt. So I'm sure nobody else wants to go out of their way to fucking hang out with him. No. His son drives a 10-hour round trip every week to check on him.
Wasn't that crazy?
That's
I was like,
fucking
10-hour
wild.
Which, by the way, James Marsden in this is really, really great. I think he's and he's hot too.
He's so goddamn good looking, man.
It kind of makes you mad,
I
right?
hate how pretty he is. Like he is like if I got to pick my own genetics, I would have come out looking a lot more like James Marsden and a lot less like
Danny DeVito.
a lot less like Danny DeVito and a lot more like James Marsden. He just
And Jack Black.
He's so goddamn good looking. Yeah, I look like a Danny DeVito Jack Black crossover. But James Marsden, he's such a fucking handsome son of a bitch, and he can
is.
act his ass off.
Dude.
I've never seen him in a bad role.
Him in Westworld.
I haven't seen Westworld. I love him in The Box.
Box. Oh, wait. Was that with
Cameron
No,
Diaz.
I'm thinking of the wrong movie.
Actually, Frank Langanella's in that too.
Huh.
Crossover.
Small world. Small cinema world. Anyways, we're off track here.
They got the jewel heist.
Robot
on,
and Frank.
on Wormy Guy.
Yep. They fucking break into the rich asshole's house, which they do it really cleverly, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
They find a spot that the security system, they basically bypass the security system.
Yeah.
So they steal the jewels. Was it next day that the rich asshole shows up and he's like,
He's got the
shows up
sheriff with
sheriff.
him, Jeremy Sisto.
Yeah.
Jeremy Sex Change Sisto.
And
he didn't actually have a sex change. I don't mean that as a dig. He plays a transgender person in the movie The Crew, which we watched as a bad movie.
Yes.
Which he is the best part of. The rest of that movie fucking blew ass.
It was awful.
Anywho, so he shows up with Jeremy Sisto. Jeremy Sisto's the sheriff. They walk through the house and they're like, "Hey, Frank, I was hoping I could use you as a consultant on this crime down the street." And Frank Langanella is like, "My robot would be happy to show you the door." And the wormy rich asshole guy, Jake or whatever his name is, he's like, "I fucking know you were in my house. I know you're in my library. I know you're in my house. You fucking son of a bitch. I'm on to you." But essentially, you can't prove it. So
right, yeah.
I don't want to give too much away about the rest of the cat and mouse game. That is that. One part I do love is when they've got a bunch of cops in the house and they're like touching the robot, and he's like, "Do not molest me."
He says it again.
And there's a part earlier in the movie where Frank's like, "Just say self-destruct. Next time somebody does that, just say self-destruct mode initiated and slowly count down backwards from 10." And the robot proceeds to do that, and everybody's like, "Listen, robot's not going to self-destruct." It gets down to like 3, and everybody
like,
just runs out.
Shit.
They're like, "Motherfucker, better safe than sorry."
So at one point, like you said, there's no evidence that Frank did anything.
No, not at all. Because he's too fucking clever. Even though he's got Alzheimer's and forgets that his favorite restaurant's been closed for 15 years, he knows how to do a heist. It's his fucking thing.
At one point, the robot calls the son on behalf of Frank and tells his son that Frank's dying, which he is not.
Right.
This is just another...
So the robot helps him hustle.
Yeah.
The robot just helps him
hustle.
pull the wool over somebody's eyes.
Yep.
There's some great reveals in here. He gets back with Susan Sarandon, and he doesn't get back with her. He goes to visit her, and I guess she lives at the library, but he shows up at her house, maybe?
Did she live there?
And he's like, "Can I come in?" And she's like, yeah, you can come in. And he's looking at all these pictures on the wall, and he takes one off, and he's like, "Is that you?" She's like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, that's
me?
That's me? So he's forgotten that Susan Sarandon, the woman he's been like pining after this entire movie, is actually his ex-wife.
That's his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Which blew my fucking mind.
My fucking mind also.
I was going to ask, did you...
I didn't remember. It's been so long since I've seen this. I probably watched this movie in 2013, so it's been several years.
But I was wondering on your first viewing... Did that connect with you?
I had no suspicion at all that was his wife.
Because I was thinking about this, and I don't... Like, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, yeah, I saw that coming." I guess when I'm watching a movie, I don't think too far ahead. I try not to think too far ahead, and I just kind of view the film.
Could I have put it together? Maybe.
There are movies where I can do that.
They're like, "Oh, yeah, I bought a plane ticket to New York, and I thought maybe I'll visit Mom, too, while I'm here." Well, yeah, you'd be a dick if you didn't, because evidently she lives 4 miles away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I guess she probably left him because of the whole life of crime thing or whatever.
I think it's basically she did move away.
Yeah.
But because she's like, when I came back, because she says at one point, when I came back.
Well, he even says, he's like, when I was younger, I used to do this thing, and man, I was with this just absolute stunning redhead. I can't remember her name. He couldn't remember her name because it's the lady he goes and sees every fucking day because that's his ex-wife that he still loves.
What a great reveal, though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a little pulls at the old the old heart points.
And so it turns out that love is the greatest heist.
When you son of a bitch, I'm in.
You stole that heart, you cat burglar. Nobody even knew you were there, including you.
Oh, shit.
There's layers on that. Take time to let that sink in.
Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like this movie a lot. It's been a really, really long time since I've seen it. It's easy. It's breezy. It's
beautiful.
Sneezy.
It's cover girl.
It's just two movies. So
are we gonna kind of leave the ending?
Yeah. Let's.
Okay.
I would like you to watch it. Out there, listen. If you're listening to the show, check out this movie. It's you can rent it on Prime. It's like $2, something like that. Where'd you watch it? It's on Tubi.
No, it's on, you don't have to rent it. It's on Hulu.
It's on Tubi for free. Fuck! I didn't look at Hulu. I paid like $2 or $3 to rent it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's fine.
I wish I'd have bought it though because it's outstanding. It does a really good job of like peppering in enough levity with this fun kind of sci-fi quirk to it with the robot.
Yeah, for sure.
I really love the cinematography and like the bits where where the robot's outside working in the garden and stuff. Dude.
I forgot to mention that the cinematography in this is amazing. And the soundtrack, like just the music that...
Oh, yeah. It looks so good. When they go to that party, like the swanky party or whatever, I'm like, so the music in the future sucks too.
Oh, my God, dude. Yes.
It's just like, wow, 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 wow.
But behind it is like a string quartet or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like,
just fucking unnecessarily putting house music behind a string quartet.
Yeah, fantastic film. Loved it.
We're both going 9 on it. I mean, that's 90%.
I think so,
that's 90% thumbs.
Yeah.
If you've
robot
ever
thumbs.
watched,
not just regular thumbs.
No, yeah,
robot thumbs.
90% robot thumb. If you've ever listened to any of these podcasts, man, anything that I think gets recommended on this show above an 80% is worth your time.
Yeah,
because even sometimes, even if we have a disagreement, it'll mellow out by the time we put it in a percentage.
I mean, as far as the good films that we've watched, I think we've been pretty close on all of them.
Yeah,
because they're films that we enjoy.
Yeah,
and
you and I have pretty similar taste.
We
also.
do. We have pretty similar taste. Yeah.
You think I should grow out these pork chops?
You have pork chops on your face?
This handlebar mustache thing I got going on.
I think you should.
Okay.
I've been thinking about growing out just the mustache.
See, you could pull off just a mustache. I couldn't because I look like a kid diddler. Like,
you don't think it'd be
just like that?
Well, I think I would probably. I mean, you don't think it'd be too hipster-like?
I don't think so, man. I think I remember you pulling off a goatee one time, and I was like, it looks good. No, you did like the whole thing, and you're like, I don't know, just trying it out. It looked good.
I'm not a fan of goatees.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, they make you look like an evil version of yourself, like an
not
evil
even
twin.
That, I just don't think they look great. I think it looks too I don't know, old.
Okay, fair enough.
You're just an old man with a goatee.
Spoken like a true, possibly 19-year-old. So we're going to go watch another movie. We're going to watch a bad movie that also has robots in it called Chopping Mall.
Hey,
you guys remember the mall? Enjoy a brand new ad that we made in a couple hours from now. and we'll be back and... we'll keep doing the show.
Yep.
Just like it's the podcast that you tuned into. We'll do more of it.
And
it's just going to be a brief break.
Yeah.
It's going to sound like the podcast is over, but it's not.
It's not. Keep listening.
And we'll be right back.
And we'll be a lot drunk.
We'll do more. Welcome back to the Flopping Network. My name's Daniel Coldstone. And I'm
Ken Sitwell.
In the studio with me.
I'm Ken Sitwell.
Ken, what are we here to talk about today?
I believe that I don't have any of the information on this product. How would you like to take the reins on this one?
Well, we've got a couple of products made by the German green import lifestyle technologies company, IB Farten with an EN.
Yes, correct.
They've got some new bringing tech into the kitchen at home. Let's start by taking a look at the Bluetooth pasta strainer.
Featuring all the latest 4.3 Bluetooth technology speeds.
Yeah. So you're in the kitchen now, working out some of that with us. Steve?
Hey, I'm Steve. What would you like to know? Hey, Steve here in the kitchen to show you the new IB Farten.
Steve, tell
strainer.
me about, like, how do the features of the actual Bluetooth pasta strainer work in relation to...
Excuse me. I'm sorry, my pasta is done. So...
oh, wow. Done straining already?
Yes.
That is as fast as normal pasta strains in a normal pasta strainer, Steve. Thank you so much.
Not to discredit the Bluetooth technologies in IB Farten's Bluetooth strain. Get your Bluetooth strainer here now. IB Farten.
You say IGN.
Available at your local mall.
Now available at Kohl's.
Back to you, Ted.
Ted, we're gonna throw it over to
back to the back to the kitchen.
We're gonna throw it over to Jennifer out in the field which is a kitchen where she's trying out the other IB Farten, again a German green import lifestyle technologies company.
Hey guys,
we're gonna be
it's
trying
Jen
out the
here.
the new haptic feedback skillet. How's that skillet?
I love it.
Yeah?
It's so haptical.
So, you heard it here, folks. During this special offer, get both the haptic feedback skillet and 2 Bluetooth pasta strainers for the low one-time price of $299.99. That's $29.99.99. Now available in 3 easy payments. Call. Special thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams. Please check out his latest project at suns.bandcamp.com. That is sunds.bandcamp.com. Thanks to Lamplighter Productions for our artwork. Please check out more of their stuff on Instagram at lamplighter_productions_IL. First time listener? We're anywhere podcasts are found, but if you don't subscribe to any of those services, listen to the show for free on our website. It's just the number 2, movies.buzzsprout.com. That's it's just 2movies.buzzsprout.com. Want to get in touch with the show? Email us at itsjust2movies@gmail.com or find us on Twitter or Instagram at itsjust2movies. Want to support the show? Great. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe on whatever platform tickles your fancy. So anyway, back to the show. The year is 1986.
Danny, I don't think our viewers know if we're old enough for that.
You're going to a mall with your friends, or you work at a mall with your friends, or you're just in a mall.
What's a mall?
It's a large place where retail, as much retail as you can imagine. Security, robots possessed by lightning.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, it's not. We watched Chopping Mall. This is from 1986. Is a horror sci-fi hour 35 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
77 minute.
It was an hour and 17 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. 77 minute runtime. This is hour 35, but
you know why that is?
not in my world.
You know why that is?
Why is that?
Because they actually cut 15 minutes from this film. It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the perfect length for a thing like this. 3 malfunctioning security droids terrorize a group of teenagers locked inside a shopping mall.
Except
Until it's time to turn the power down. Yes. Oh my God. Keep that fucking sound clip forever.
So what?
Initial release. We're gonna get into it real fast here. Initial release March 21st, 1986. Directed by Jim Wynorski. Yep. Budget $800,000 estimated. Produced by Julie Corman and music by Chuck. Come on, Chuck.
Sriracha. Yeah, that's
Sereno.
It's Sriracha.
Chuck Sereno. This stars Kelly Maroney, Jim Warnowski. He plays the Killbots. Russell Todd, Barbara Crampton, Teddy Karolewski. No, I know nobody gives a shit. But they're in it. Tony O'Dell and Mary Woronov. But you're right. Nobody does give a shit about that.
No one is in this movie.
Where do you jump off at this thing? The robots are ridiculous. There's the first 45 seconds of the movie. There's just a guy making racist comments in a crowd, 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
And they just keep cutting back to that specific guy.
And couple. I don't know why. And
they leave like nothing happens to them. They're not in any way. They're just like, let's put a racist guy on there. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So basically, we've got a mall, and they're unveiling new security.
Oh yeah.
And they are these robots that. This is just a silly movie.
It is, yeah. It's
I did have a good time with it though.
Oh, same. This is if I could get away with doing stuff like this every time we watched a bad movie, I would do that.
Yeah.
Because this is right in the pocket of my kind of bad movie. Do you know what I mean? I guess we can go ahead and rate it up top again, switch it up, see if anybody gives a shit or, whatever. Chopping Mall. How many robot claw thumbs that they should have that they don't?
Because they had claws.
How many robot claw thumbs? Out of 10 robot claw thumbs, would you give this movie as a regular feature film? You know what I was thinking? Do you just want to drop the as a regular movie?
Sure.
The more that I listen to it and edit it, I'm like, we could just not do it. It doesn't. It's like 10 seconds of the podcast, and I don't know.
Hey, I'm with you, buddy.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Okay.
I don't even know where we're at. What are we talking about?
We're in the studio.
Boner Terre, Missouri.
Boner Terre. That sounds like an awful fucking way to go. Jesus Christ.
What happened to Danny? Boner Terre.
I had a boner tear. It's really sad. Closed casket, I guess. Okay.
All right, let's run through this thing. Or
I think we already
did we?
No, we didn't. We're gonna rate it. We're gonna rate it, and then we're gonna go through it. So I guess for the purpose of this, we'll try it out. We're just gonna drop the as a regular movie rating because we're deliberately watching it as a bad movie.
Right.
Everybody knows that. So
I mean, I kind of like the original idea because we were rating it just as if we were channel surfing one night. And and it just comes on.
Right.
I kind of like that.
I get it. I understand it, but I don't know that it translates to everybody that hears it because some people come in here and go, "Wait, what?"
Right. When you ask them, you're like, "What?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Why would I do that?"
I don't understand the rating system. Like everybody's been here's like, I don't get it, and I'm like, it's because it doesn't make sense.
Well,
I understand it though,
because you had to explain it to me for 4 episodes, and on the 5th episode, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
sure.
I get it.
So, as a bad movie,
yeah.
How would we do this? Do we still want to have 2 ratings for it? Or
how likely are you if somebody else is like, man, I love trash cinema?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would this be on your list of movies to recommend?
Right. We're thinking about it as our enjoyment
Yeah,
I had
a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun with this.
I would say I might give it a 9 actually.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna go 9
because it was really fun to make fun of.
The robots are fucking great, and by great I just mean horrible. They're like boxes with triangles on treads that don't move. Like they don't turn. The robots turn, but the treads don't.
It looks like a caterpillar.
Yeah, like a backhoe,
like
or something.
a backhoe,
yeah,
or like a one of those.
One of those little earth movers.
These robots had lasers, of course. I
Yeah.
know. I did not enjoy the lasers. How do you feel about?
Well, I was kind of digging on the color scheme of them. I'm like, well, all right, if you're gonna do the cheesy laser 80s,
right?
Because it's in all kinds of shit. They would do this shit in daytime television. You know what I mean? In the 80s. So I've seen plenty of it. Because I like old stuff.
Yeah, not because
retro,
you were born in the 80s.
Because that's from my era. Is this still good? Is that is that a thing that you guys even care if we do anymore? Because I'm willing to let that die. But if it's a good bit, I'll stick with it.
It's just welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies Unhinged.
Oh my god.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies After Dark.
Right. So there's fantastic robots, there's nutty teens, they're staying in this mall overnight, they're gonna have a party, they're gonna get drunk, and they're all gonna get laid.
That's the premise of the movie.
That's the plan.
And the robots attack them.
The robots gain sentience, and instead of being like, oh, you're a good person, we'll let you go. Oh, you're a bad person, it's just killing everybody.
Right. Because you're supposed to be able to show the robot a badge.
Mm-hmm.
The robot recognizes the badge. You're safe to pass. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Robots turn. They kill a bunch of people. Here's the thing. This could actually be a really good, really funny film.
Yeah.
And I think it didn't take us long to realize.
We hashed out a couple of things that would have made this way fun. Even just bits.
Yeah, and it could be such a good mix of horror and comedy, I think. Or slasher and comedy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we remade this present day, I think it could be really, really fun.
The robots have got to change.
Oh, yeah. Robots have got to change.
Not necessarily in design. I would still alter them in design, but you could leave the same kind of schlocky box on treads look to it.
That would be kind of funny, yeah.
Right.
Just to keep that.
Just dress it up, though. Make it look a little more modern. Make it look not like spray-painted cardboard.
Can we make it not sound like a lawnmower with a V6?
Right. Right. It's like if you strap the blades for a zero turn on a four-wheeler. It was a wild sounding piece of machinery.
The robots should be faster in our movie, right? They have to be.
As nimble as they are and as silent as they are being portrayed, that part needs to be convincing, because they're like, oh man, those things are super quiet. But they're not.
They're not.
They're like...
Right. And you can hear them power up or down.
Or you're... Yes. Oh, man. That's good. All right, I'm going to start working on some other laser noises.
Well, that's all robot, baby.
Yeah, that's a fucking good one.
I mean, it could be lasers as well. Sure.
I sometimes can do a good pneumatic.
Yeah. Nice. That's the air. That's the airlock.
Right.
That could in our movie that right there for some reason, is the opening to the mall. Like, those are the front doors.
Just a giant airlock. But, I mean, another one of the great bits is because they're in a mall. It's like a 4-story mall. So there is a shit ton of them going up and down escalators.
Oh my! Most of the movie is them going up and down escalators.
And it would be really great to just be committed to the joke that every time someone, even background characters, are on an escalator, they're going the wrong way. Like they're not just waiting on it. They're actively going.
They're struggling too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just like an old guy that's taking the stairs instead, because there's stairs right next to it. And he's like, I don't have the strength anymore to go up or down the escalator.
But it's the same old guy in every shot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just on the same staircase. Be perfect. Because they're like, the stairs would be like, oh, you take the stairs, you fucking lazy piece of shit. Just take the escalator and get a good quad workout. That's a good bit, because if you... All right, it's like it's funny the first time, it'd be funny the second time, and then it wouldn't be funny for the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time.
You'd be like,
but the
okay,
7th,
seriously?
8th, 9th, and 10th, you'd be fucking crying because it's got that repeatability to it. Like, man, that is dedication.
And by
by the end of the movie, the actors and actresses are like, God damn it, motherfucker. Just like screaming while they're stomping the wrong way on the escalator.
The ending love scene that will probably still be in our movie.
Oh, yeah.
The actors are trying to, embrace one another while on the escalators.
Oh,
but it's still going the opposite way.
So they're trying to, compensate. Oh, yeah. No, there's a lot of things that could really make this a great comedy immediately without changing anything.
But I want to have some. I feel like it should have some sort of slasher element or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, just maybe the robots are much more dangerous, but say there's only 1 or 2 of them instead of 3.
Right.
Because that makes it a little more like, even if you get 3/4 of the way through the movie and you've been unable to kill it the whole time, if it's just right off to the races as soon as the movie starts, you're 3/4 of the way through the movie and they kill 1, you're like, oh shit, well now they know how to kill it. So then they'll go to try the second one.
But the robot adapts.
That's right. And let's say it accessed fucking, footage from CCTV on site at the mall, and it watched them kill the other one. So it learned and whatever. Boom.
I like it. Boom.
There you go.
We got it.
You got yourself a regular Terminator. It's exactly a Terminator, only it's not from the future. It's from the now.
You're welcome.
So what would you call this if you were going to redo it? Because you can't redo Chopping Mall. You'd have to rebrand it for sure. But this idea is not bad at all.
Yeah, no, this could work. As far as a name, though, I don't know. I thought it would be funny if the birds, if the robots were birds, call it Shopping Caw.
Oh.
I don't know. That wasn't
no. I fucking love it. I would be down with that. Robot birds would actually be super terrifying.
What do you think? You have any ideas for if you're gonna rebrand this, rebranding it? Because we'll come back.
We'll come back to it. Let's do some casting. If you're gonna remake this present day, you only have to pick like 3 though. We'll just assume the rest are good.
Sylvester Stallone.
As a teenager. and how funny would that present be? Day, it would be pretty funny. It would be pretty
like the
funny.
other actors are actual teenagers.
Yeah, like the
or
like
well, I guess these people are probably in their 20s.
Sequel to Wet Hot American Summer, where Paul Rudd's back, but he's like clearly in his 40s.
Or we could just do Paul Rudd. Do Paul Rudd as the main? That would be funny.
What was that? I watched another thing with somebody in it the other day, and I was like, "That's good. That'd be a good cast for something." I don't know. You get fucking. I did like one thing about it though. I liked the bit with the janitor at the beginning.
The one that was mopping with
the
melted ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that bit. I just like the character. I was like, okay, so this whole thing's probably funny. If this is that schlocky, it's probably deliberate.
No, honestly, what do you think as far as recast? Do you think that would be who did we say? I mean, I jokingly said Sylvester Stallone.
I would get the oldest Byers kid from Stranger Things cast in it, probably.
I watched the first season of that.
The main kid that goes missing, his older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Previously on. No, I keep thinking about like every time I'm like
No, but seriously, I think it would be really funny to have an older actor as one of the quote unquote youngsters.
How about
Paul Rudd would be funny.
How about man, just because I've never seen him play a role like it, and I think he potentially could be hysterical. Willem Dafoe as one, like, have you ever seen Willem Dafoe do comedy? Really?
Not really.
No.
You know, I consider myself a bit of a comedian.
I consider myself a bit of a scientist myself.
Willem Dafoe is one of the... Shit.
If he wouldn't do it, I'd see if I could get Jim Carrey. Because I bet now, if I was just like, Jim, this is what I want you to do, I bet he'd be fine. But he'd just be weirdly old.
Right. What about as one of the... whatever they're supposed to be? Are they teenagers? Are they
they're
kids in their 20s?
They're kids that work at a mall. And
Right.
one of them was like, hey, man, you got the beer? And he's like, yeah, of course I got the beer.
Yeah, good.
So one of them might be 21.
What about Ty Sheridan?
Ty
as
Sheridan.
one of the kids.
From...
Mud?
Oh, shit. You got a picture of him? Like present day? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be perfect. He'd be fine in that.
Yeah. He's a pretty good actor.
I don't really know who else you would get.
It doesn't have to be anybody.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
nobody in particular.
Just slap a Joe in there and
Yeah, tell him to fucking get some.
get some.
If I could, if there was like I tell you what, who I would get to play the nerd. He's probably a little old, but it would be
Steve Buscemi,
it'd be the main character from Bloody Hell.
the main guy.
Yeah, I would get him to play the nerd because he can play a psychopath and a tough guy.
Yeah.
If he can nail both of those that easy, maybe he might really shine in something like that.
Right.
It's like where he comes through, just fucking loses his shit at the end. Because we know he can do that.
There you go.
You like this though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Same.
It was super fun. Could easily be remade. Throw a little bit more money at it. $800,000.
Yeah.
In in '86 was
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. You get Will Ferrell as any one of the teenagers.
As the robot?
As any one of the teenagers. Sorry, the robot. Oh, God. You get John C. Reilly as the robot.
The voice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be good. Or Ice-T. Ice-T is the robot.
We have to have somebody super famous as the janitor that's only seen one time.
Right. I would say Stan Lee, but he's not doing cameos anymore.
He's unavailable.
He's doing that one last cameo, you know? Yeah, who would be a good, like Gordon Ramsay?
I was going to say, God damn it. Singer for Aerosmith. Steven Tyler. As the janitor.
That's good. That's good. Oh man, that's rich. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's about it with Chopping Mall.
Yeah,
it's free on Prime. If you have Prime and you got 77 minutes to kill, this is right up your alley. This is a good fun time. Have you been like watching or reading or consuming any other media? Can we have a name for this segment? What would you call this segment of the show?
Plug it in. I don't know.
Glade? It's time for everybody's favorite segment, Glade.
Plug it in, brought to you by...
It's time for Plug It In, brought to you by Glade and Bounty.
An S.C. Johnson company. A Johnson & Johnson company.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. But here's what I've been up to. Been playing a lot of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Really great game.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching the TV show Justified.
Nice.
Which, if you're not familiar with it...
Timothy Olyphant, however you say his fucking last name.
Timothy Elephant. And Mr. Walton Goggins.
Oh, man, I love
Who
Walton.
is amazing in it, dude. He's so good.
I love Walton Goggins. He might be one of my favorite actors.
The only bad thing about Justified is the music in the beginning. Like the theme or whatever. No, it's just a super awful song. And I've been reading Gravity's Rainbow still.
Is it Kid Rock?
Is it Kid Rock? No, but it's close.
Okay.
It's in that same vein.
Nice. Uncle Cracker.
Even closer. You're warmer. Hang on, let me just see if I can. Justified theme song.
It's time to help people customize and save Liberty Mutual.
What? That's
weird, isn't it?
The intro's to Liberty Mutual.
Bibbidi Mutual.
Unforgettable vacation memory.
Man, I hate YouTube.
This memory
Yeah.
There it is.
That is closer. Can you skip intro?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Every time.
Not every time, evidently. All right.
It's so bad. Okay, yeah. Anyway.
This is the right energy for ads. I'd like to record some ads. This is perfect. All right. Been reading Gravity's Rainbow, huh?
Yes. It's I've been reading it for well over a month, and I'm not even halfway through.
Yeah. Guess what I've been reading? Paperwork at my job.
Hey,
there's a bunch of it.
Sexy, dude.
There's a bunch of it. Yeah, it's not very entertaining, but there is lots of it.
Yeah.
So those are so that's good. I watched the first episode of the new season of Rick and Morty.
Yep.
I really liked it. It got me in the mood to go back and revisit it. So it's like a background. It's just background noise for me, but I do revisit it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through season 3 right now.
Okay.
That and I went back and watched some regular show. I've been looking for something like new and exciting to get into, but I haven't quite found.
I always liked regular show.
Something that I'm in the mood for. Yeah, me too.
I always liked it. Yeah.
A regular show is on HBO Go.
Oh, nice.
And I've been watching Rick and Morty on Hulu.
A lot of the a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff is on HBO Go.
A ton of it, yeah.
Or maybe most of it. Which is cool.
What I would love to do is see if they have Dexter's Laboratory on there, and I would really like to revisit that. That was my favorite show when I was a kid, hands down. Or, when I was a teenager or when I was a baby.
Right. I did watch a couple episodes of Harvey Birdman.
Yeah. I liked Harvey Birdman.
It's on HBO.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. I haven't had a chance to read anything this week. I am so close to finishing Watchmen, and I might just do it Sunday. I might just read the rest of it and finish it. That way I can move on to whatever the next thing is, finally.
You want me to let you borrow Gravity's Rainbow?
No.
So you can take 10 years to read it?
Not really. No, not really.
Nah, I'm good.
If it's super dense, I have to read it in chunks. Like, I have to read it in, like, thirds if it's real hard to follow. Because I can remember if I consume enough of it at once. Like if I'm thinking of it, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. I think that.
I think we probably went over our time limit here.
Probably this will have no doubt have been clipped down by quite a bit, or you're gonna have the best after credits ever, or it'll be very average, and you'll be like, "What?
What? How drunk were these guys?
Yeah, what's going on with these dudes?" Again, if you want to support the show, give us a like, leave a comment. Would love to read some new comments if there were any to read. Write the show or don't.
Or don't. At least just listen.
I honestly don't know how to read, so I have to bother my old lady to come read it aloud to me. But I never really know if that's what it really says or not. So I'll always be a little skeptic of it. And that's why I like movies, because I can't read or...
What about movies with subtitles, Daniel?
Can't read What about them?
What about them? I haven't seen them.
I have Alicia recite them to me. Just throw something at me?
No, dude, I wouldn't do that. That fell out of the sky.
What was it? Are you joking? You threw something, you fucker. He got me. Do you have a funny thing to say?
Earlier when we were outside, you were telling me a joke, and all of a sudden you pulled your pants down.
What?
I was gonna end the.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to end the.
Oh, okay. All right.
It didn't work though. You can try again.
That's all right. Take it. Sorry, I was like, what? I was trying to.
Did I? I did that.
I don't think that happened. I was trying to think of what was the joke?
Or we could just do it like this. So you want to start sucking each other's dicks, or
shut it down?
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
I have my fucking bottle over in here. You got me? Swing. Green.
Oh, sorry. Do you have another one? I do.
That's a good bit. I can't.